All right, so Johnny, first off, I've been looking forward to the chance to speak with you. I've always been curious about the origins of your name, Johnny Walker. Obviously, the link to the Scotch whiskey, of course, but I understand that's not your birth name. Where did the name come from?
It's just a little bit half for my mom, a little bit half for my dad. You know, my dad called Walter with V, the letter V, so he put my name Walker with the letter W. My brother called Walter as well, but with the letter V. And my mom called Joelma. She put my name and my sister name with the letter J to match with a little bit with her name. So my mom called Joelma, my sister called Joyce, and she put Johnny on me. So it's just coincidentally became Walker Johnny.
Okay, so you just flipped it is really all you did.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, and obviously it's catchy. It makes it a lot easier to remember Johnny Walker. Uh,
Yeah, it's
so
very catchy, right? I like it anyway.
exactly, exactly. So you're from Brazil, of course, but you've been living and training in the British Isles for many years, correct?
Yeah, I mean, living in Ireland now for the last 3.5 years, almost four.
You were also in England before that, correct?
Yeah, I used to live in Southampton in England, yeah. And
What,
before I was in Scotland.
why is that such a good fit for you?
I don't know. I just was like to travel in the beginning, to try to fit myself in some place. Like I find out on the end of all of my journey that Ireland is my home. I've been to Russia, I've been to Canada, to America, and I stopped in Ireland.
Okay. Do you
Because
do you imagine this is where you're
I
going to
find a
stay?
warm hotel. Huh?
Do you imagine you're going to stay in Ireland for good?
Yeah, I find a woman there, a good coach and mentor, good friends, and I embrace it.
Right on, right on. So now you're in Vegas right now. You're getting ready to fight Magomed Ankalaev for the second time. The first fight ruled a no contest. We know the story. Illegal knee minutes in, doctor stops it. Neither of you are happy. Take me back to that night. What were your thoughts speaking to the doctor in the cage as he's checking on whether you can continue?
Uh, I was, there's a lot of hard work that you put in to a fighting, right? You miss a lot of good quality time with your family, and then a lot of commitment, a lot of diet, a lot of training. You put a lot of time in, you know, on the company training, on the trainings and diet and commitment and everything. So you don't want the fight stop with no result. So you get a little bit upset. Like this is why I wanna like keep fighting. I kind of not accept in my mind. But what happened there was today I'm glad that the referee stopped the fight. There should be a disqualification, but because we don't take smart decision when you're there. Because we're tough guys, and we get punched and then we keep going, moving forward. We don't care. So we don't take smart decision for ourselves sometimes. But after the fight, I feel my neck was locked up. I feel a little bruised, on my collarbone. I feel a little bit sore in a few days after the fight. So 100% see the fight keep it like happen. I will be in a disadvantage because I receive a punch, a knee in the jaw. I absorb that energy. So if the fight keep going, I want the fight to keep going because I never gonna quit. I was gonna keep walking forward. But this is why we need the referee and the doctor to take the decision for us sometimes because we don't care. We're just gonna keep fighting. Doesn't matter if you broke an arm, if you broke something, you're gonna keep fighting hours. So this is why I on the time I was upset and everything, but after I realized that I was in the advantage.
So yeah, I mean that knee, of course, it obviously did affect you, no question about that. But it almost looked like a kind of knee that, if it had happened and your knee was off the ground, would you have normally continued from something like that?
Yeah, I would continue. I would keep going fighting anyway. I don't care. We get punched in the face every day. Like one knee on the face doesn't really matter for us. But on that position was in disadvantage, so he take advantage of me and he landed illegal knee. But it is what it is.
So you've more or less come to terms with, okay, maybe this wasn't such a bad. I mean, obviously, you would have preferred it to be a disqualification, but the stopping the fight, preventing you from continue, you do feel more comfortable with that now in hindsight.
Yeah, now I feel because I realized that I get the damage. If the fight keep going, I would be in disadvantage. But on the time, you never gonna stop the fight. If you broke an arm, if you have broke a handle, broke whatever, feel pain, feel salt, doesn't matter. We're gonna always gonna try to fight because the adrenaline don't let you feel the damage, don't let you feel the pain sometimes. And even if you feel wanna keep fighting anyway, we don't take smart decisions. We just wanna fight until the death. We don't give a. So this is us, fighters.
Of course, of course. Did you lose any time or any memory from that period, or like you still remember every event of it lucidly?
Yeah, I was very loose. It doesn't really affect much my brain or something like. I was really okay for keep going fight, but I received the damage on my muscles, on my structures, like a car crash.
Of course, of course. Now you've said about this. You've talked about this before, of course. The language barrier you thought was speaking the doctor was a bit of an issue, more on his end. Obviously, you speak English very well. Is that correct? Is it the two of you were communicating in English, right?
Yeah, we was communicating in English, and when he asked where I was, and a lot of questions he was asking, I was trying to be as much precise as possible. But when he asked where I was, I get a little bit confused because I was confusing about Abu Dhabi and Dubai. I don't want to say the wrong, so I said I'm in the Middle East. I'm in the desert of the Middle East, and then
Mm,
I think that's why they call out.
yeah, so do you think if you had said United Arab Emirates, they would have just let you go?
Maybe I never know.
Who know? Obviously, you can't go back and change it, but it sounds like just an unfortunate situation. The crazy thing, though, about this, and I was watching it again today, is the fact that once it's waved off, you kind of go out there, you're like ready to go again. You gave the referee just a little nudge and that kind of thing, and there was both Ankalaev and you're kind of just like, all right, let's keep going. What's going through your head at this point?
I just said like we work so hard for that moment. You don't want the fight finish without a result. You just want to keep fighting and doing your job. It's what I was trying to do. Like I want to fight. The fight's not over until I win.
Of course, of course. And if it were up to you, I'm just kind of curious about this strike in particular and how you feel about that type of strike. Are you in favor of a strike like that being illegal, or would you prefer that be something you're allowed to throw?
Like they put the rules there. I don't care if you can put like soccer kick, knee on the floor. I don't give a. But as long as you have a rules, you have to respect. If you have no rules, I'm gonna fight it. I rather have no rules so I can be more vicious. You know what I mean? But once you have the rules, I try to follow it. Once somebody broke the rules, he need to get punishment. But you have no rules, okay? Let's fight no rules. Then I know what I expect.
Sure. And you talked about that knee. You kind of labeled it a very dirty move, if I remember correctly. And do you believe that he's a dirty fighter, or that it was just kind of like a one-time thing?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know how to talk about this because it's what look likes. And it's this his reaction. Like he's a very professional fighter. He know what he's doing. Like you never land something unintentional. Everything you throw in the fight is you have intention to hurt, to land.
And of course, we're rebooked here. Is that what you wanted? Did you want to get a second chance at him? Because it was a close fight. It's not like anything had really happened up until that point.
Yeah, I want to get back because I was like I was enjoying the fight. I was like doing step by step, feeling the fight. I was enjoying. So this is why I was so upset when the fight finished because I was liking the fight. I was enjoying. So I just want to finish what I started.
Do you take anything away from those 3 minutes in the cage with him? Anything that kind of you learned about him that informed you for this training camp?
Yeah, I learned a few things. I feel his power, I feel his technique. So nah, this fight's gonna be a little bit different because I know what to expect here already.
What do you think of his power and his technique now that you've experienced it yourself?
It's just a normal human being, my friend. Everybody's beatable. There is nothing like crazy about that. So just a normal man. Gonna gonna show this on expose him on January 13th.
Sure, sure. Now you've got a lot to gain with this too, because Uncle Ives is ahead of you in the rankings. Realistically, if he wins here, he might be right in that mix there. Same thing for you. You get a win over him, you'd be in that mix too. You've got three straight wins when before the no contest. You could string together one or two fights. You might get that title shot this year. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, 100%.
What do you think of the champion Alex Pereira too? I mean, obviously he's a Brazilian like you. He likes to strike. He's obviously an accomplished kickboxer. What do you think of his game?
He's a really good fighter. He's the champion now. I have to respect that.
And he's a big guy too. You're obviously one of the biggest we have at 205 pounds. He's a big guy. Do you kind of like the idea of maybe fighting someone who's your size, or?
Yeah, 100%. Like it's gonna be fun, and I like to test myself.
Sure, sure. And the last question I have for you is you fought earlier in your career at heavyweight. You've been at 205 most of your career. Have you ever given any thought to move up to heavyweight and just getting the cut out of the way and just fighting at your natural weight?
Yeah, maybe in a few years because it's the natural things that's gonna happen. I'm getting heavier, my body more dense, more muscle mass, dense muscle mass. So I'm gonna be natural more heavy, and then I'm gonna end up on the heavyweight very soon.
Recording stopped.